The silence no one talks about. You know what no one tells you about infertility? The silence, the aching silence, not just in your body, but in your heart. It's the silence when people don't know what to say. The silence in rooms where you feel like you don't belong because you don't have stories about your children's first steps, first words, first birthdays. You become the quiet guest at baby showers, the one who smiles on the outside but breaks inside. You become the woman who scrolls past pregnancy announcements trying not to cry. This is the part no one talks about. And yet here you are surviving it. That alone speaks volumes about your strength. It's a secret kind of strength, isn't it? A quiet kind of pain. You don't scream. You don't ask for attention. You just endure. And in this endurance, you reveal something sacred, resilience. The world may not notice, but your spirit holds a kind of beauty that only those who've walked through fire can carry. The pain of being less in their eyes. Let's talk about something honest. The shame society places on women who can't have children. It's never said directly, but it's always felt. She couldn't give him a child. She missed her purpose. She's not really a mother. Those words, spoken or unspoken, become bricks that weigh on your chest. But let me tell you the truth. You are not less of a woman. You are not unfinished. Your womb is not the sum of your worth. You are whole, fully, deeply, profoundly whole. You are the kind of woman who carries entire generations through her wisdom, love, and resilience, even if she never carries a child. They say motherhood is sacred, and it is. But so is healing. So is rising. So is refusing to let the world define your worth through reproduction. You are not less. You are a mirror to every woman who's been made to feel that she's not enough. The shame you never chose, you never asked for this. You didn't choose this path. You prayed, you hoped. You tried, you walked through hospital doors with courage. You swallowed hope in the form of pills. You shed tears alone in bathrooms when tests came back negative again. And somewhere along the way, you started to blame yourself. Maybe it's my fault, maybe I waited too long, maybe I'm being punished. But no, you are not the problem. You are not broken. You are not cursed. You are a warrior who has carried more emotional pain than most people will ever understand. And you still show up. That's power. You've lived 100 heartbreaks quietly. Each month a silent hope, and sometimes a silent goodbye. That cycle of hope and loss, it wears on the soul, but you wear it with a quiet kind of courage that only women like you understand. The grief people don't understand. Infertility is grief, not once, but every month. It's the loss of a dream over and over again. It's a nursery planned in your heart, dismantled in your soul. You grieve a child who never existed, but lived fully in your imagination. You imagine their name, their face, the sound of their laughter. And when it doesn't happen, you grieve in silence, because this kind of pain is invisible. It's lonely. It's misunderstood. People say, just relax, or try again, or worse, maybe it's not meant to be. They don't see that every word stabs. Every comment feels like a dismissal of your heartache. But hear this now. Your grief is real. Your feelings are valid. And you are not alone. Your pain deserves space. Your loss deserves respect. You don't need to explain your sadness. It's real. You lived it. And just because the world doesn't see it, doesn't mean it's not heavy. You carry it with grace. That's strength. The truth no one told you. Here's what no one told you. Motherhood doesn't begin or end with childbirth. Your ability to create life doesn't depend on biology. You are a life giver in the way you love, the way you nurture, the way you hold others up. Some of the strongest, most inspiring women in history never had children, and yet they mothered nations. They healed hearts. They raised spirits. They made the world better. You don't need to give birth to be a creator of life. You already are. You birth hope. You birth courage. You birth strength in others every day, just by being who you are. You are the mother to dreams, to ideas, to healing. You bring life into places where people have given up. That's sacred. That's irreplaceable. That's womanhood, raw and real. And when the nights are quiet and you feel forgotten, remember, you were never invisible to the hearts you've touched. You matter deeply. Your light reaches further than you think. You are a warrior in disguise. Think about everything you've endured. The sleepless nights, the injections, the waiting rooms, the financial strain, the disappointment, the longing. And still, you show up. That makes you a warrior. You are brave, not because you haven't known pain, but because you refuse to let it destroy your spirit. You stand tall in a world that doesn't know your battles, and every day you choose to rise. That's where your power lives. You are not weak. You are not defeated. You are in the process of becoming someone unbreakable. You speak softly, but carry the weight of silent wars. And when you lift your head every morning, you say to the world, I'm still here. That's not just survival, that's sacred resistance. And in that quiet strength, you become a beacon for others, a sister, a guide, a voice that whispers, you are not alone. A new identity, not less, but more. Let's rewrite the label. You are not a less child, woman. You are more, more soul, more wisdom, more compassion, more depth. Infertility may be part of your story, but it is not your identity. You are not missing something. You are carrying something sacred, a strength most people will never have to find. You are not defined by what your body couldn't do. You are defined by what your heart continues to do. Love, give, hope, fight. This is your moment to rise, to speak for the women still silenced, to walk boldly with your head held high and say, I am not broken. I am not less. I am not childless. I am limitless. And that is your power. Your story is not over. It's just beginning. Not with shame, but with sovereignty. You get to write the rest of your life in bold ink, not apologizing for who you are, but standing tall in it. Because even when the world sees emptiness, you are full. Even when they see lack, you are abundant. Even when they see sorrow, you are rising. You are living proof that love does not need a cradle to exist. It lives in your voice, your heart, your every breath. And no one can take that from you. So carry your story like a crown, not a wound. And know this, you are seen. You are sacred. You are enough. Infertility often brings a silence, not just in your body, but in your heart. The silence when people don't know what to say, when you're expected to keep your pain hidden, the feeling of being left out at family gatherings, hearing stories about first steps, first words, first birthdays, while your own womb remains quiet. I remember walking through baby showers, plastering on a smile, while my heart screamed with the grief I was holding inside. It's a silence that becomes deafening over time. But through it all, you endure, you show up, and in that showing up, you reveal a strength that few will ever understand. A quiet strength, one that holds the power to heal, even the deepest of wounds. It is a sacred resilience, one that only those who've walked through this fire can truly carry. Let's talk about the shame no one openly acknowledges, the quiet whispers in your mind that tell you you're not enough. I remember in the quiet moments asking myself, is this my fault? Am I broken? When society expects a woman to fulfill the role of mother, what does that make you when that role doesn't materialize? Society says, she couldn't give him a child. She missed her purpose. She's not really a mother. Those words cut deep, don't they? But let me say this clearly. You are not less of a woman. You are not incomplete. Your worth is not determined by what your body cannot do. You are whole, complete, and radiant, exactly as you are. I once had a conversation with a friend who told me, you don't have a child, but you have a world of love to offer. And that hit me. I am still a woman, still worthy of all the love, all the happiness, and all the joy I can create, with or without children. Infertility is grief. It's the quiet grief of losing something you never truly had, but loved with every ounce of your being. Each cycle, each treatment, each tiny hope you dare to hold, knowing it might be shattered. I remember the first time I saw a positive test. My heart skipped a beat, only to fall into a pit of disappointment, as it was followed by negative results. The grief I felt each time was so heavy, but I carried it alone, afraid to share. But you don't have to carry this grief alone. Every negative result, every month of hope and loss, is a pain that needs to be honored. People might say, it's just not meant to be. But what they don't understand is that each comment is like a slap to the heart. Your grief is real. Your pain is real. I want you to know, your tears are not wasted. Every single one is part of your journey, and you are allowed to feel it. Don't let anyone tell you that your grief doesn't matter. Motherhood is so much more than what society tells us. I used to think that the only way to be a real woman was to be a mother. I watched women around me with children, and I felt like I was missing some fundamental part of myself. But the truth is, motherhood can take many forms. Some of the most remarkable women in history never had children. Their lives were filled with purpose, love, and the nurturing spirit that defined them as mothers. I think of women like Marie Curie, who poured her heart into her work and changed the world. Or Maya Angelou, whose words touched generations. They didn't give birth to children, but they gave birth to ideas, to revolutions, to legacies that will live on forever. I am learning that my ability to love, to nurture, and to give, even without children of my own, is what truly makes me a creator of life. You are too. You are a mother to ideas, to healing, to dreams. You are powerful, just as you are. Let's be honest, infertility doesn't just affect your body, it attacks your spirit. The countless tests, treatments, and disappointments, the weight of wondering if you'll ever hear the word, "You're pregnant." I remember lying awake at night, thinking, why me? Am I strong enough for this? And yet, here you are. Every single day you show up. You continue to fight. Even when the world doesn't see the battles you face, you keep going. This makes you a warrior. Not because you've never known pain, but because despite it, you refuse to let it defeat you. You have faced heartache, rejection, and disappointment, but you keep standing tall. Every day you rise. That's a victory. That's where your strength lies. Every scar, every tear, every ounce of pain is what shapes you into someone unbreakable. Let quotes redefine who you are. Infertility does not make you less. It makes you more resilient, more compassionate, more powerful, more beautiful. You are not defined by what you can't do. You are defined by what you choose to do every single day. You are defined by the love you give, the way you continue to rise, despite the storms. You are more than enough, and you have always been. I know this journey is painful, but I also know that there is so much power in your heart, so much beauty in your soul, and so much life left to live. This isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning. Stand tall, walk proud, and know that your strength, your worth, and your love are limitless. The world may not understand the pain, but that doesn't diminish your power. You are not broken. You are whole, and you are unstoppable. Infertility brings a silence, not just in your body, but in your heart. It's the silence when you don't know how to answer the questions people ask. The quiet, when others talk about their children's first steps, and you force a smile, while your heart aches with longing. I remember the first baby shower I attended, after I had been struggling with infertility. I tried to be happy for my friend, but each gift, each congratulations, felt like a reminder of something I desperately wanted, and couldn't have. That silence becomes a constant companion. You become the woman who hides her pain behind closed doors, the one who smiles through the cracks in her heart. But let me tell you this, that silence doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're strong enough to carry your pain and still keep moving forward. And in that quiet, you grow, you endure, you heal. That is where your strength lies. Let's talk about the shame that no one acknowledges, the kind that sneaks into your thoughts, telling you that you're somehow not enough. I remember looking in the mirror, asking myself, why can't I be a mother? What's wrong with me? There's this unspoken pressure that women feel, like if you can't have children, then you aren't fulfilling your purpose. Society makes you feel like something is missing, like you're incomplete. She couldn't give him a child. She's not really a woman, a mother. But let me say this, those words, those feelings, they're not true. You are not less. You are a whole woman, beautiful and powerful in your own right. Your worth is not defined by the child you carry, but by the love you give, by the resilience you show in the face of pain. You are enough. I remember walking through my friend's house one day, seeing her children running around. They were a reflection of the dream I had always had. I wanted so badly to be the one holding my own child. And yet, despite that longing, I had to remind myself that I am still whole, still worthy of love, even without that child. You are too. Infertility is grief, not just a one-time loss, but a repeated quiet grief that no one talks about. I can still feel the weight of each month. When the test came back negative, the feeling of my heart sinking, as I realized that once again my dream of motherhood was slipping away. I remember sitting alone in the bathroom, clutching the test, and trying to hold back tears. I felt broken, like a failure, like I wasn't enough to make my body do what it was supposed to do. But here's the truth. Your grief is real. It's not something to be swept under the rug or ignored. Every tear, every heartache, every moment you spend wondering why it isn't happening for you is a valid emotion. People often say things like, don't worry, just relax, it'll happen, not understanding that every word feels like a dismissal. You don't need to explain your pain. You don't need to justify why you feel the way you do. Your grief is your own, and it matters. I realized this when I started to openly talk to others who were going through the same thing. The conversations that opened up were the ones that made me feel less alone. And maybe, just maybe, those conversations can help you feel seen and heard too. You know what's so often forgotten in our society? Motherhood doesn't always look like what we expect. I used to think that I wasn't a real woman because I couldn't get pregnant. I thought I wasn't fulfilling my purpose, that somehow I was less than those who had children. But what I've learned is that motherhood comes in many forms. Motherhood is not just about biology. It's about the love you give, the way you care for others, the way you hold the world in your arms and nurture it.
There are women who mother by giving love to children who aren't their own. There are women who mother by pouring their hearts into their work, into their community. I look back at the strong women who came before me, like Eleanor Roosevelt, who changed the world with her strength and compassion, even without children of her own. And I think of all the women in my life who may not have biological children, but who have been mother figures to so many, including myself. I am learning that my ability to nurture, to love deeply, to heal, that is motherhood too. And so is yours. You are not less because you don't have children. You are a mother to dreams, to causes, to people in your life who need your strength. You are creating life through your kindness, your love, your work, your voice. Infertility isn't just about physical pain. It cuts deep into your soul. The disappointment, the waiting, the treatments. I remember the exhaustion, the way I felt like I was constantly running on empty. I remember going through yet another round of IVF, feeling like my body wasn't mine anymore. But still, I fought. I showed up. I kept going. And that, my friend, is the true essence of a warrior. You are not weak because you've known pain. You are strong because you choose to rise every day, despite that pain. In the quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts, when the world doesn't see the battles you're fighting, you still carry on. Every day you keep showing up. That's strength. That's resilience. You may not see it right now, but you are becoming someone unbreakable, someone who can't be torn down, no matter how many challenges you face. So let's rewrite your story. Infertility does not make you less. It makes you more compassionate, more strong, more loving, more real. You are not incomplete. You are not defined by the child you haven't had. You are defined by what you've endured, what you've learned, and how you continue to rise. You are a woman of incredible depth and strength. Your power is in your ability to love, to heal, and to create in ways that are uniquely yours. When I finally accepted that I was more than what I couldn't do, I began to see my worth. I realized that my story wasn't one of loss, but of growth. You too are growing in ways you might not yet fully understand. You are not broken. You are not less. You are limitless. And your story is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. It begins with this moment, with you standing tall, embracing the strength you have, and realizing that you are whole, just as you are. This is your time to rise, to claim your worth, and to speak your truth, because you, my dear, are unstoppable.